Did you tame a brand spanking new Gasbags? Are you finding it difficult to learn how to control this airborne jelly bean? This video will demonstrate Gasbags piloting, safety procedures, potential dangers, and how to train your Gasbags to be a reliable form of transportation. Safety. First and foremost, make sure you have proper personal protective equipment, or PPE, before boarding a Gasbags. In the event that an accidental dismount mid-flight occurs, or even something more catastrophic that may result in emergency dismount, always have parachutes in your inventory. This will save your life and prevent unnecessary respawns in the future. Never forget your parachutes and always keep them on your hotbar. Basic controls. It's important to note that between single-player and dedicated servers, gliding creatures like Gasbags do function a little differently. From my professional experience, single-player piloting requires diligent forward thrust to continue in a direction. Meanwhile, piloting on servers is more forgiving and forward motion is maintained for longer after initial liftoff. Holding right-click will inflate the Gasbags, and spacebar will lift off with a blast of air below the creature. The direction your camera is pointed will determine where your momentum will shoot toward. Looking straight up will shoot the Gasbag straight into the air. Pointing the Gasbag so your camera is nearly parallel to the ground will push the creature out across the terrain. Do not point the camera directly downward, as this will not create lift, and your Gasbags will simply bounce ineffectively off the ground. Pressing C key will completely deflate the Gasbags. Very effective for blowing away other players and creatures. Turning your camera mid-flight will gradually change direction. Because of the hang time in the air, maneuvering mid-air does require lots of practice, as Gasbags can seem wily when a new pilot is trying to land on a specific location. Patience is key, and practice makes perfect. Keep in mind that holding space will gradually elevate, and using left and right keys can strafe the Gasbags in midair. Practice these maneuvers to perfect them. Gasbags make for very nice flotation devices out on the water. You can inflate your Gasbags while on the water surface and lift off while afloat. Swimming does take a considerable amount of stamina, so be aware and don't get stranded. Proper Gasbag safety. Safety isn't just for the pilot, but for the Gasbags as well. A saddle isn't required to pilot a Gasbags, but even a primitive saddle can help protect from opportunistic attacks from predators and enemies. Always keep your Gasbags fully inflated. A fully inflated Gasbags will lift off and stay in the air more efficiently than half-full Gasbags. Be sure to monitor gas levels and land before gas gets too low to avoid fall damage. It is possible to safely land with as low as 15% your total gas and take minimal fall damage. Gently pressing S key and space can slow down a descent. In the event of an emergency landing and there is no more gas or too little gas, you can safely dismount and still be standing on your creature so long as they're mostly level in midair. If you do fall off the Gasbag during dismount, deploy the parachute immediately. If you are still standing on top of the Gasbags, you and the creature will slowly descend if there's still a bit of air inside. If there's no air, take caution and deploy a parachute if you're very high in the air. Lower altitudes may be safe to remain on top of the creature and not take fall damage to your survivor. Lifting off with half gas levels is not recommended for beginner pilots. This may be necessary during emergency situations, so make sure you practice emergency low gas liftoff in safer locations. Do not deflate the Gasbags during flight. Always be aware of your surroundings. When fully inflated, a Gasbag takes considerably less damage from attacks, but each attack gradually deflates your creature, and an ambush that pins you and your Gasbags down can quickly chip all the air out of your creature and make them vulnerable to full damage. Avoid conflict when possible when piloting your transportation Gasbags. This may not apply to Gasbags trained to be soakers for hostile engagements, but of course, the mechanics are the same. Training your Gasbags. Now you may wonder, what do I level in my Gasbags? The most important stat to level in a Gasbags is oxygen. O2 levels are critical in order to maximize your Gasbag's gas capacity. This is the number one stat to level, and a Gasbags with over 20,000 in oxygen is ideal for long-distance transportation. This is one of the only creatures where you would want to mutate oxygen in order to save points during training for other essential stats. Stamina is the next important stat. Gasbags do consume stamina during flight, and if your creature runs out of stamina, you both will suddenly float back down to the ground and not be able to lift off without rest. Usually, a piloted Gasbags will run out of gas before stamina, so this situation is rare. Movement speed is the third stat, which is important for piloting. Because a Gasbags is not a flyer, but a glider, a pilot can level their movement speed. This stat is also improved by the imprint buff with the bred Gasbags. Higher movement speed will launch the creature exponentially fast into the air. This acceleration can make the Gasbags difficult to maneuver at very high speed levels. The improvement from an imprinted creature is typically enough to improve performance. Experienced pilots may want to focus on speed to save on gas and stamina. A speed-leveled Gasbags uses the same amount of stamina and gas as a basic creature. This build is only recommended for experienced pilots. Typically, even a low-level Gasbags will have good weight from the start. Leveling weight is not usually necessary unless you hope to use your creature to be a labor-intensive pack mule. Be sure not to overburden your Gasbags, as this will negatively impact flight if you can take off at all. Health is also naturally high in a Gasbags, so increase the stat at your own discretion based on your specific needs. Passenger info. Gasbags can seat one passenger. In ASA, the passenger sits above the head. In ASE, the pilot sits above the head while the passenger is seated on the rear at the saddle. This updated arrangement makes sense regarding the saddle, but I personally would have preferred the pilot at the front. But it seems that steering at the rear is more effective with this creature. Should your passenger transporting needs exceed one extra person, other survivors can simply jump aboard and stand on the Gasbags for a ride. Though this can be dangerous as sharp turns and strafing can cause them to lose their footing. Extra passengers can use grapples to hold on, but they are still vulnerable to fall damage during hasty descents. As a longtime pilot of Gasbags, I wanted to share my experience and hopefully admiration for this big bubbly bean. I hope you found this information useful, and I wish you prosperous travels. Now, get out there and start blasting off into the wastelands. But most importantly, stay safe, survivor.